Hey everybody, let's take a yoga break. You can begin standing on your mat. Today we're really going to try to focus on our digestive area, our tummy. Even if you're feeling like good in this neighborhood, these are some really nice poses that you can do to sort of keep everything moving and keep your tummy feeling good. So we'll begin by taking our feet a little bit wider than hips width apart. We're going to be pointing our toes sort of at a 45-degree angle, like towards the two corners of our room. And we're going to slowly begin to drop our tailbone down between our legs, sort of like we're going into a squat. We're going to begin by sort of going into a squat. So you can also, if you want to face this way on your mat, a good way to gauge about how wide you want your legs to be is to just have your toes spilling off the mat just a little bit, so you can go either direction. And then let's bring our hands together at the heart, and we're going to begin by dropping our weight down into our tailbone, and slowly coming on down into our squat. Alright, so this is our yogic squat, which is really good for all the stuff. This is a pose with a lot of history to it, which I guess is true for all yoga poses. But this is, you might recognize this as a position that you do some important business in. If you're like out camping, out in the woods or something, which is historically a way that we've been doing that important business. In a lot of cultures, this is a position sometimes for even giving birth. So we're thinking about lengthening through the top of our head and lengthening down through our tailbone. Your feet can be flat on the floor, or we can, if that doesn't quite feel right, we can even be a little bit up on our toes, a little bit more of that froggy pose, with our heels reaching towards the earth. Thinking about keeping our back nice and flat. We're not crushing into this position. We're still doing that work to keep our chests open, pushing our hands into each other. Our elbows are pressing against our knees, and we are breathing. So inhale to press those elbows against the knees and open up that chest. And exhaling, lengthening our spine up towards the sky and down towards the ground. Feels good. Alright, we're going to fall back onto our bums. Shake out our knees a little bit. Felt good to be in that squat, or maybe it felt challenging. It looks like a simple pose, but it can be very challenging. So no fear, no worries if that was tough. It's tough. We're going to come into one last position today for this yoga break, and I kid you not, this is called wind relieving pose. So we're going to start by coming onto our backs. We're going to have our lower back flush with the mat by sort of rocking our pelvis up to get that flatness, so there's not a gap between our backs and the mat. Snuggling your shoulder blades beneath you, so nice and tucked in. We bring one knee up towards our chest and then the other. We're really just going to hold our knees in here, and then if we want to take it one step further, you can look up towards your knees with your nose. Really squeezing our legs up in towards our tummies. You sort of feel your thighs pushing against your stomach in that way. Making sure to keep any tension out of your neck. Breathing in to squeeze those thighs up and in, and exhale to let any tension go. Inhale and exhale. All right, we can come out of that. Come back up to a seat. I want to say thank you so much for taking a yoga break with me today. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that where I am practicing here in my little yoga space, I am practicing on Pawtucket land. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to take a little yoga break, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Peace.